My niece's bombshell remark to my husband made the whole family fall silent. Do you believe what the child says? You all are crazy. My husband retorts with a look that makes fun of our family. However, when my sister snatches his phone and unlocks it, it was filled with truly unbelievable facts. My name is Sophia. I married my husband, Benjamin, 3 years ago and is a housewife of a dual-income household. My marriage with Benjamin was peaceful, and because we both worked, we shared the housework and were able to live without the chores being disproportionately on either side. However, it seems that his work has been busy these days, so I don't spend much time with him. The reason is that his position is now higher, but while I am happy, I am worried about the amount of work he has. I'm thinking about having a child soon, but when I saw Benjamin busy working, I couldn't talk to him about it. However, I'm not in such a hurry, so I'm going to confide in Benjamin when the time is right. While I was vaguely thinking about such things, Benjamin, who was late for overtime, came home. Normally, I would be sleeping, but tomorrow was a holiday, so I didn't sleep and waited for my husband to come home. When I served the curry to Benjamin for a late dinner, he seemed to notice that I had made it mild unlike usual, and asked if my niece, Ava, had come over. Yes, I think it was until about 8 o'clock, and she was visiting with my sister. My niece, who is the daughter of my close older sister, is the cutest child for me right now. I've been watching them since I was a baby, so I think about half of them are my own children. I wanted to meet Ava, too. I haven't seen her for about half a year, right? As I stared at Benjamin, who seemed sad to have missed my niece, I wondered if he hadn't seen her that much. I thought I was seeing my sister's family often, so I didn't assume that much time had passed. However, when I think about it, he had not been around that often whenever I saw my sister and niece. In the past, I used to take Ava with me to go to theme parks with Benjamin, but these days that is no longer the case. Well, Ava is in 2nd grade, and you are always busy. He nodded to agree that was the case, but I felt somewhat uncomfortable. However, I didn't know what was wrong, and I quickly forgot about it as we kept having a conversation. And the following week, I got a call from my sister to hang out again, so I suggested to her if she could visit me when my husband was at home. Then my sister replied in an ambiguous manner. When I asked her what was going on, she said something unbelievable. My niece, Ava, is avoiding my husband. I was upset by my sister's words. She said, "I'm sorry if I offended you," but I was so frozen that I couldn't say anything to her. The reason I'm so upset is that my niece has a slightly unusual ability, or a mysterious power. To be honest, I was skeptical when my sister first told me about it, but I started to think it might be true as I spent more time with her. For example, on a sunny day, my niece insists on bringing an umbrella. When the adults tell her that the weather forecast is sunny, she doesn't listen at all. I thought that she must want to go out with an umbrella, so I gave it to her as she wanted, and an hour later it rained. Also, when the family was on a long road trip in the car, my niece threw a tantrum on a rare occasion. She was about 4 years old at the time and cried and begged me to stop the car. The car is going to crash. I need to pee. My sister was annoyed by her crying daughter, but the rest of the family was very sweet to her, so I decided to take a break at a nearby convenience store. I also used a bathroom, and when I got out of the store, I heard the sound of loud car brakes and the sound of lumps colliding. Wondering with my family what had happened, when I drove closer to the direction where the sound had come from, we found that there had been a car accident. If we had ignored my niece's words and proceeded, we might have been the ones who had the accident. We used to only think of her as a smart child, but after that incident, my family began to believe that my niece had mysterious powers. However, by the time she started her elementary school, such things became less common, and we thought that she might have felt it because she was a small child. But knowing that she had such powers, I was concerned that she didn't want to see my husband. When she finally calmed down, I asked my sister why Ava didn't want to see my husband, but she didn't seem to know. However, she said that Ava would look scared or frightened. My sister seemed to think that I would be bothered, so she kept quiet until now. To be honest, I was anxious. But I couldn't fully believe that there was something wrong with my husband. It's natural because I'm his wife. My husband is kind and enthusiastic about his work, and I believe that he will never betray me. However, even after I hung up the phone with my sister, I had a fuzzy feeling. The reason why he works till late is because he was promoted. But will they make him work until the last train every day? Until now, I have believed everything my husband says, and my life with him has been fun. I know it, I believe it. I thought so, but I couldn't calm the helpless buzz in my chest. Even after I found out that my niece was avoiding my husband, I lived my life without any incident. Because there is nothing else you can do about it. It was just that my niece didn't want to see him, and I didn't have the courage to ask my husband if he was doing something. However, when I think about my life with my husband more objectively than before, I feel that we are more like roommates than spouses. A bland conversation in the morning, and on the weekends, I wait for my husband to eat dinner together. It's too mediocre every day. I think it's just normal and not bad, but it seems like a shallow relationship. Hey, has anything changed lately? At dinner together for the first time in a long time, I asked my husband. However, he doesn't have a particularly unusual expression and replies that it's the same as usual. Let's go on a date for the first time in a long time on our next day off. I suggested it jokingly, but he said that he was tired and wanted to rest at home. Even after that, I suggested the same thing several times. But in the end, he always rejected me. In the past, no matter how busy he was, he would make time for me, but now it seems as if he is not interested in me. Maybe it's because we've been married for 3 years, but I feel a little lonely. A few days later, I was tidying out my closet with the idea of redecorating. Then, a gift box came out of an unused travel bag. Even I, who was not interested in brand names, knew that it was a luxury product. I wondered if he had prepared for me, but there should be no such thing as an anniversary in the near future. So who is this gift for? I felt as if a dark feeling had accumulated at the bottom of my stomach all at once. I contacted my husband at work. Soon after, I got a call from my husband. Don't open it, it's not mine. I was asked by a colleague at the company to take care of it. Apparently, the gift was from my husband's colleague's girlfriend. Since they live together, they can't keep it at home, so they asked her husband to keep it until the day she gave it to her. I see. Then I'll leave it at that. Hanging up the phone, I returned the present. But why did he need to hide it in a closet? Even though I have said that I believed in him so much, I couldn't help but doubt him. When you notice one thing, one question after another arises. In order to face this discomfort, I decided to have my husband, whom I did not know, checked by the private investigator. I really want to question my husband directly. However, I don't want him to erase the evidence in case something happens by doing such a thing and triggering him. I was a little disgusted that I was calm enough to think like that, but there was no going back. A few days after I made up my mind, I heard from my mother that my aunt, who lives in the countryside, was coming. When I told my husband, he said that he would participate unlike usual, and I wondered if even that was because I found a present the other day. And on the day of the family gathering, my niece and husband met again for the first time in more than half a year. It's been a while, Ava. My niece, who looks at my husband who speaks with a smile, seems a little awkward after all. She immediately hides behind my sister, and my husband thinks that she is being shy because she hasn't seen him in a long time. While everyone was eating delivery sushi and sharing updates with one another, I went into the kitchen alone to make another cup of tea. Then my niece called my name and said she would help me. Thank you. Then can you put the tea leaves in the teapot? I ask her to do so, but my niece doesn't want to move at all. When I looked into her face to see what was wrong, she had tears in her eyes. Oh, Ava. What's going on? Hearing my voice, which got a little louder in surprise, my sister talking in the living room asked me what had happened. Then my niece cried and asked me to break up with my husband. Break up with Uncle Benjamin, otherwise Auntie Sophia is going to be in trouble. He is a bad person, a very bad person. My husband was smiling bitterly at the unexpected bombshell remark. I haven't seen you lately, so do you hate me? However, the rest of the family knew that she had mysterious powers, so they all stared anxiously at my husband's face. What is it? Do you believe what the child says? My niece continues to talk as he laughs. Uncle Benjamin is dating someone who isn't Aunt Sophia. She's been telling you to break up with Auntie as soon as possible. And Uncle, you're stealing the company's money, you're doing bad things, a lot. My husband turned pale as she specifically said that. And my family then asks him if he's doing that. Hey, that's what the kid is saying. You're suspicious of me when you don't have any evidence. You guys are crazy. My sister snatched his phone from his pocket in a second while he raised his voice. Then she asked for the PIN. It's an invasion of privacy. I tell my husband, who is in a cold sweat, to just tell me now. After that, there was a struggle with our family who asked him, who refused it, but in the end, we forcibly unlocked his smartphone with face recognition, and we ended up checking it. Then, a lot of photos and exchanges of a woman who seems to be his affair partner come out. After all, you were not working till late. My voice was so cold that I was even surprised. My husband, who got everything confirmed, is keeping his head down and sobbing. I wanted to cry here, but I thought he was really the worst. I am sorry. I just got a bit distracted. When my husband replied in a small voice, my sister checked the dating period and said that it wasn't just a distraction. Please divorce me. When I told him that, he clung onto my standing leg and begged me he didn't want to do that. Then I shook my legs to ask why he had an affair, but he just kept crying and didn't say anything. In the exchange with his affair partner, he said I was not an attractive wife. Of course, the gift I found was also for his affair partner. And in addition, an exchange that seems to be embezzling the company's money with an affair partner was also found. What my niece was saying was really true. I will submit this phone to your company. As I said that, he attacked me to forcibly take that away, but the whole family blocked his move and he was crying with a runny nose and drool. I'm sorry, just don't do that. Of course, no one would defend my husband, who was not only having an affair but also committing a crime. We contacted my husband's workplace and my parents-in-law and asked them to get him. I'm sure he will never know why Ava said that. He might have thought that we were a crazy family. But I thought it was okay. I don't want someone as filthy as my husband to ever be close to my precious family again. Since then, I have been able to divorce my husband through a lawyer. He was also accused of embezzlement of the company's money and was fired along with his affair partner. Of course, he will have to pay back the embezzled money little by little. I also found out that if the embezzlement was discovered, there was a plan to accuse me as a criminal. I'm sure this was what Ava was saying, that I was going to be in trouble. By the way, my husband and his affair partner had to have a large amount of repayment, and although they lived together initially, I heard that they broke up because she thought it was my husband's fault that she got caught. I received a few letters from him through my lawyer asking me to start over, but when I told her that I would throw them away if they came in the future, they stopped coming. I don't know what kind of life my husband is living now, but he's probably not happier than I am. I didn't care what happened, so I wasn't interested. If you never see your face again, that's fine. Most of all, I am grateful to Ava. Since then, my niece has been praised by her family so much that we all decided to take a trip to a certain theme park as a reward for Ava. I fully believe that I was able to escape the worst possible outcome because of Ava. However, the betrayal by my husband is not something that can be easily forgotten. Ava, who saw me with such a dark expression, secretly whispered me, "Don't worry, Auntie is going to marry someone so nice." I still have no intention of dating anyone at all, but I was a little cheered up by her words, which I believed more than any other prophecies. For now,